Hey, what's going on, guys? Welcome back. Thank you so much for clicking on the video. Today I will be showing you the best Moonveil Katana build that you can make in Elden Ring. S tier category, the best of the best items, weapons, and talismans to use. Just remember, if you guys enjoyed this video in any way, shape, or form, a thumbs up would be very much appreciated. It really helps the channel grow. Thank you all so much for all the support. If you want to see more builds similar to this one, I have a lot of Elden Ring content on the channel. Make sure you subscribe so you don't miss any future uploads, and let's go ahead and get into the video. The Moonveil Katana was forged of glintstone, masterpiece of a Celian swordsmith. Easily one of the best weapons to use in Elden Ring. This has to be the best in slot weapon for pretty much any intelligence dexterity focused build. The Moonveil Katana has extremely high physical and magic attack power. It scales evenly with both intelligence and dexterity, and we also get blood loss buildup. But the real reason why this weapon is top tier is the transient moonlight skill. Composed of two different attacks, one light and the other heavy, this unique skill is very fast, it gives you the range you need, and most importantly, it does a lot of damage. Alright guys, first things first, in order to obtain one of the best weapons in Elden Ring, the Moonveil Katana, you have to go to a tunnel that's actually located between Limgrave and Caelid. The name of this tunnel is called the Gale Tunnel. After defeating the final boss in the tunnel, you will be rewarded with the Moonveil Katana. Before I forget, I want to show you guys what this build would look like at different level brackets. So we took a trip to Rennala the Moon Queen, one of the main bosses in the game that gives you the ability to respec your attributes. We're going to look at what this build would look like between the levels of 50 and level 250, which is the level my character is. One important thing I have to mention, I started with the warrior class when I first began playing Elden Ring, so your starting attributes are going to be similar to mine, but they may not be exactly the same. To make the best possible Moonveil Katana build in Elden Ring, you want to focus on four main attributes. Those attributes are Vigor, Mind, Dexterity, and Intelligence. At level 50, for example, we would have our Vigor at 20, Mind at 20. The more focus points you have, the more spells you can cast, and the more you can use Transient Moonlight for your Moonveil Katana. Dexterity, we have 23. Keep in mind you want to have at least 18 Mind and 23 Dexterity so you can wield the Moonveil Katana at level 50. And then we have Intelligence at 22. At level 100, we have Vigor at 40, Mind at 25, Endurance at 18. We increased our Dexterity and Intelligence to 30, and over time, I recommend increasing your Faith to at least 15 around level 100, so you can utilize the Flame Grant Me Strength incantation that gives you more physical melee damage. Eventually, you will get this to 25, so you can use the Golden Vow incantation as well. Moving closer to level 150, we increased our Vigor to 50, Mind 25, Endurance 20, we increased our Dexterity to 40, and we have Intelligence at 50. Like I mentioned previously, once you get Faith to 25, you can use the Golden Vow incantation that increases your offense and defense even further on your build. So as you can see here, my character is level 256. We have Vigor at 60, Mind 36, Endurance 33, Strength at 12. We have both Dexterity and Intelligence at 80, which is actually the hard cap for both. And we have Faith at 25. One thing I also want to mention, as you continue to increase your Dexterity, it's also going to increase your spellcasting speed, which is great because we are using spells on this build. And like I said, as long as you get your Faith to 25, you can utilize two great incantations to help you increase your damage and defense even further. Our main weapon on this build, the Moonveil Katana, fully upgraded plus 10. With these current attributes, our physical attack power is at 178 plus 150. We have magic damage 213 plus 218. Once your Moonveil Katana is fully upgraded, you will have B tier scaling for both intelligence and dexterity. Another added bonus of this katana is that additional 50 blood loss buildup, which is always great. And just so you guys know, you need at least 12 strength, 23 intelligence, and 18 dexterity to use this weapon to its full potential. As we discussed earlier, this weapon has two primary attacks. We have the light attack, which is great for clearing out multiple enemies at once, and then we have the heavy attack, which works extremely well on higher HP enemies. One of the best combos for the Moonveil Katana is to hit your enemy with a light attack, dodge backwards, and then initiate a heavy right after. Since this is a magic build, I highly recommend using the Carrion Glintstone Staff. Once fully upgraded at plus 25, you will have S tier intelligence scaling, and the main reason we're going to be using this one is because it gives us an added boost to our Carrion Sword sorceries. You also want to make sure you have a Sacred Seal on your build so you can cast the Flame Grant Me Strength and Golden Vow incantations. It doesn't really matter which one you use, just make sure you have one on the build. And if you want to be more lethal, I am using a katana as my secondary weapon. We have the Cold Uji Katana fully upgraded plus 25 with the Chilling Mist Ash of War. We have 198 plus 183 physical attack power, 158 plus 120 magic damage. We have C tier strength and intelligence scaling, and B tier scaling for dexterity. Using the Chilling Mist Ash of War is going to give us 105 frost buildup as well as 38 blood loss buildup. For the apparel, I am using the Bandit Mask, the Black Knife Armor, which is actually altered. By default, this armor piece actually comes with a translucent cloak, but I decided that it actually looks a little bit better without it, and it kind of fits my character. I wanted to make a Moonveil type warrior, and I'm really liking this outfit right now. Next, I want to show you the talismans that I am using on my build, but I will also give you some alternatives. Starting off, we have the Shard of Alexander, which greatly boosts the attack power of skills. As long as you have this talisman equipped, you will do more damage with the Transient Moonlight skill. We also have the Carrion Filigree Crest, which lowers FP consumed by skills, the Green Turtle Talisman, which raises stamina recovery speed, and we have the DRAGONCREST GREATSHIELD Talisman, which enormously boosts physical damage negation. If you wanted to try something different, I also recommend trying this combination. We have the Shard of Alexander and the Carrion Filigree Crest, but we added the Ancestral Spirit's Horn and the Taker's Cameo. The Ancestral Spirit Horn is going to restore FP upon defeating enemies, and the Taker's Cameo is going to restore HP upon defeating enemies. This pairs very nicely with the Shard of Alexander and the Carrion Filigree Crest, which gives us FP and HP back every time we kill an enemy. Now I want to show you guys the incantations and spells that we are using on this build. Before you get into any engagement with enemies, you want to make sure you activate your Golden Vow and Flame Grant Me Strength incantations. Golden Vow is going to give you an extra 15% offense and defense on your build. In addition to that, once you activate Flame Grant Me Strength, it gives you an additional 20% physical attack power for your build. After activating these buffs for your character, you can pull out your Glintstone Staff, and the spells that I recommend are actually some really good options for you. So we have the Carrion Phalanx, which is a great defense spell, and since we are using the Carrion Glintstone Staff, this is actually going to give us even more damage to this spell. The Night Comet is great for any enemy in the game because most of the time they're never going to see it coming, which means you can land every single shot. We also have the regular Comet, which I personally like just because you can charge it and add more distance to the initial attack. We also have the Carrion Greatsword, which is being boosted by our Carrion Glintstone Staff, which means more damage. And then one of my personal favorite, the Carrion Piercer. The Carrion Piercer works so well on tough enemies because it causes stagger, it does a decent amount of damage, and it's a great attack to use to follow up with the Transient Moonlight skill. During my playthrough, I ran into Vike, one of the mini bosses in Elden Ring, and he stood absolutely no chance. I mean, this Carrion Piercer spell works extremely well. It staggers your enemy, and honestly, they're gonna have a tough time fighting back. Last but not least, for my Wondrous Physic mix, I am using the Magic Shrouding Cracked Tier, which temporarily boosts magic attacks. And we have the Stone Barb Cracked Tier, which temporarily makes stance break easier. This works extremely well with the Transient Moonlight skill. Well guys, that is the build. If you have any questions, please don't hesitate. Let me know in the comments below. If I can't help you out, I'm sure somebody else can. If you guys missed my last build, one of the fastest killing bleed builds in Elden Ring, I'm going to put a link at the top of the screen right now. Thank you guys so much for watching. Just as I mentioned before, if you enjoyed this video in any way, shape, or form, a thumbs up would be very much appreciated. It really helps the channel out, helps a lot with the algorithm. Also, if you want to see more videos in the future, make sure you guys subscribe, and I'll see you in the next video. Take care.